Hello everybody, this is Craspar signing back in, doing yet another review. This time we're doing a review that I promised you guys 3 years ago, and it's on Drewdika. And I'm finally getting around to it. I got him out of storage, and I was gonna wait till I got the other two built, the Zacron and Zyron, or no, Zarnak and Zyron, sorry. But I didn't get around to it, and those ones are still in storage, so I'm tired of waiting. I'm just going to do a review on this guy. And yeah, we'll get started on it. Background on this character. This guy was built for the 2007 LEGO Canon contests by Andrew Huang. And he is a Canon model. He was one of the 5 finalists. And the third one I have reviewed. Technically, I reviewed this guy before because, again, I made a preview on my channel 3 years back in the older house, where I was just so giddy that I managed to get him. If you want to have a bit more in depth on what I feel about this guy, you could go watch that video. I'll have it linked in the description. But right now, we're going to just do the basic review. And we'll start that, as we always do, with Dan Schneider's favorite part of the body. And that is his feet. Now, his feet are interesting, because they're not really feet, they're torsos, with 2 feet attached, with a foot attached to them. This whole build is a little strange. I don't know how the people on TTV mentioned boards, but I will link the whole discussion on how I was able to build this guy. I think I have it in the description of the old video too, but I'll just have it relinked down here so you can figure out how these, they pieced it together. But yeah, his feet were built with torsos, and that actually makes him pretty sturdy, given the fact that it's just a lot of surface area for him. The only thing that's difficult is that, again, this isn't really connected to anything. It's just kind of free-floating, and I haven't quite figured out how to connect it yet. So I have ideas, but I just haven't done it yet. But his technically 4 feet is a modded torso with a golly hook and a baraki mandible, and a Carapar's foot, which is a Roxy foot, attached to either side of it. And he just kind of has just 4 feet. And that's kind of it for his feet. Moving up to his leg. His leg is just Takodox's arm with some modifications to it. The red barbs on his arms, and then his tail is now on his actual arm, and his hands, blades, or whatever are on his knees. So yeah, he's got a little rearranged, and you're gonna see that a lot. This review might go by fast because it's just a lot of reused parts and recycled parts. So that's cool. Elec. This torso is just an Elec torso. The lower torso is Elec's torso, pretty much 1-to-1. But all the spine pieces have been rearranged to be on his shoulders and here, so he's got one hell of a hairy torso, I guess. And it gets connected right down there. On the back, he's got a tail that is connected to this torso, and this tail at the end of it has a squid launcher, which means somewhere on him you could throw a couple left arms, or not left arms, the Exoforce hands, and give him some squid. But I didn't do that, and there's no real spot for that on the actual model, so I opted to leave them out for the moment. But you could totally do that. Probably, I'd bet it's either on the lower torso or on these little arms here, which is a good segue to these little arms here. He's got an extra pair of 4 arms. He's got 4 arms and 4 feet, but 2 legs, so that's cool. And yeah, these little arms here are just little Elec hands, or the Elec claws that make these little hands, and they're actually pretty cool looking. So he's got an extra 4 limbs, or extra 2 limbs. Just above those, there are these 2 pieces. I don't know why they're here, but they are. They could also be connected somewhere else on the torso. I don't know where. But that's where I've put them for now. And then we go up more to the actual torso himself, which is at where the rest of Drewdika is. And the torso is just a Huki and Nika torso. This is the second time where Huki and Nika has been mutilated for a Canon mock. And pretty much wholly, too. I think he just swapped out, like, with Tineron, he just swapped out the pelvic piece for for something like a little darker, like a black pelvic piece. And that's about it. And that's just what this is. And the other LX spine just connects to the center of the torso right there. His arms are just LX arms, or no, these are LX legs. They're just LX legs, but with spines on it, and they end in hands, which the hands are the Paraka foot, and he's got 2 of them. They're identical. His arms are identical. He's pretty much perfectly symmetrical, except toward the weapons. His weapons, he's got this weird double sore claw thing, whatever, on one hand, which uses the Karapar claws, and a Nuva torso for whatever reason. And on the other side, he has 2 Kilarak pincers, or mandibles for a claw, and that's about it. And then you got the head, which actually this is a cool head design. It's a Karapar head that uses a Vaki torso to connect the whole thing and gives him an extra, point of mobility here with the jaws. And the only issue is that these jaws are independently moving. You can't really move them in unison. There's no real good way to connect it either to make them look like they're moving in unison all at once. But, it is what it is. I think the head looks fine. It looks cool. I certainly like it. Yeah. That's really about it. I mean, this guy is pretty much just an amalgam of a bunch of different sets. And he's kind of splayed out, but he can stand. He's relatively stable, so let me get him stood up a little bit. And he's tall, too. He's pretty inflatedly tall, given that he's just like 3 torsos at once. And yeah, also I'm gonna take off his arm, or his weapons, because I actually prefer him without the weapons at some point, because I think it looks a little bit better, just him having no weapons. And you can get to see a better picture of what this guy looks like. It's a little bit difficult because he's on my bed, so give me 1 sec. Okay, there we go. Here we are. Here he is stood up, and again, he's huge. He's tall. You could see Zakron in the background, which I'll actually use. I'm going to use, for the size comparison, a Metrotorin. Yeah, he's tall. I'd say he's about on par with Botar. Like just Botar as being tall, which is cool, but is also kind of not fair because it uses, just this inflated torso. But I kind of forgive it because I like it, and I will say I like it because I took these off, the weapons off, for a reason. Because I think he looks like a mantis shrimp, with how long and slender he is and how many colors he's got, which is why I'm not really bothered by the colors, because actually the color blocking is really well. The red's just on the tail, the green kind of runs up through and his appendages, the blue kind of sticks around, and he's just kind of consistently like Keat orange all around. But yeah, no, he's a big guy. And we'll take Zakron here for a moment too, and we'll just kind of get him stood up a little bit. Now he's huge. He towers over most sets and most things. He's on par with like Cardaz and again Botar for being huge. Actually, I think when I had my I have Botar somewhere buried around. I might take a picture and put him on my community tab. But I think when I had my Cardaz out, he was a decent chunk of Cardaz's size, and not he was a little bit taller. But yeah, and I'm not gonna connect this on here, but I'm just gonna put that back on here. But yeah, I like this guy quite a bit. There's my finger. And it was a really short and simple review because objectively, he's a bad model. I will say that objectively, this is a bad model, and I can get why a lot of people would like this guy, because he is just a hash of like a few sets. He doesn't do anything special with them. He just puts them together, and you just get this giant monstrosity. However, I like him because I'm strange and weird and partial to the stupid-looking things like that, and it gives me a challenge because it also allows me to fix them in my ways and make them a little bit better. But that's about it. That's just me. You don't have to like this guy like I do. That being said, this concludes the video. I'm going to be uploading a batch over the next couple of Oh, excuse me. The next couple of days. I think tonight is going to be a Zarnak video, and it might be Drewdika, and then I might be the other Hero Series video I want to get out tonight. Though it could be later. It doesn't matter. I gotta get to recording it so I can actually upload it and have you guys out there and you guys can see it. So thank you guys for watching. I have finally fulfilled my promise of 3 years ago of making an actual proper video on this guy, and we're that much step closer to reviewing all 5 of the Canon sets for 2007. I will hopefully maybe get my hands on the parts for the last 2 later and bricklink the rest of the parts, because I was actually able to find a couple more updated images of at least Zeron to get him finished, and then Zacron, like, I'm pretty sure I'm able to just scrounge around the internet a little bit more and actually build them together and do a review on him. So yeah, stick around for that. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, whatever, just like, I don't care. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be live soon, maybe. I do go live, and I'll have more video guides for you soon. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Krasapar signing right back out of this review, saying goodbye again. Yeah.